Right. My name's Jay Gann. I'm the new chair of the PPAC Safety and Security Subcommittee. And I call this meeting to order 11 a.m. Friday, December 19th, 2025. Let's stand for pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag,
United States of America, and
to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. We'll go through everybody. Please state your name. Yes.
Patricia Zimmerman, PPAC.
Jennifer Nisanoff, Safety Security.
Oh, that's all right.
Matt, where's Lynn's department, number 30. Terry Dragon, PPC, ready?
See Haas, this.
Paul Flores, Public Works Director, Gateway Services.
The public comment. Tricia?
Patricia Zimmerman, PPAC. I just want everyone to remember that we have a presentation on January 13th that the PPCA Sport Shooting Club is sponsoring. And at that meeting, I'm helping with the presentation, putting together, and there'll be an overview of GSCDD, but then quickly moving into PPAC and all of the wonderful things that our committees do. So I have 4 slides or so that each committee will have. The first one introduces the committee, says what the mission is, introduces the chair.
Sure.
The second one will be a picture of you guys at work. I took that last meeting, and all the names of the committee members. The third slide about this committee will talk about main projects that were completed in 2025. So anybody have their favorite list of things you want to make sure gets on that list? And then the last one we'll be talking about next year. What's 2020 look like? So any ideas, please come forward to Jay or me, and we'll make sure they get on the slides. Be sure to attend too. Yeah, I got yours. Thank you.
Okay.
I got them from Jennifer already. So be sure to attend and support the PPAC and GSCD groups.
We had it on our agenda for today, so your input is helpful.
Fine.
I just think I heard that you already sent us some stuff. Will that be shared with us so that we don't?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about it,
Okay.
during the,
Great.
yeah.
Next, we'll go to approval of minutes.
On line 43. They weren't really PPAC protocols. PPAC wanted some documentation. And so I really talked a little bit about the protocols that have been put together by the GSCDD and the organizations. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the meeting. That was the first thing that I thought we might need to update. The second thing was on line 113. I think that's really Brockey Center.
Yes, it is. It's in the spelling.
Yeah.
That's a misspelled word.
And then it says KW to look into this. I don't think KW was going to look into it. I couldn't remember who said, I mean, I remember the discussion, but when it says KW to look into this, I don't think KW.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, okay, on line 113. Okay, okay, at the end, it says KW to look into this, but I got KW to look into this. And this is something you were saying that I thought you said that things are going a little bit better than in the past. I was a little confused.
Oh, my comments that I wrote up in Western, as you know, in the from Michigan, it's much, I think we talked mutually.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I don't think KW had an action item.
If I could clarify, so this item, was in regards to the wiser, the rover reports we get daily.
Yeah.
And the one thing I did notice is that there was a lot of comments, a lot of, issues with the Baraki Center's doors being left open. And this was something that KW was going to look into to make sure that they lock those doors every night, because the wiser officer, when they do their routes or their runs, they're checking doors, whether they're locked or unlocked. And that was a common theme that I noticed, is that a lot of the doors were left open overnight. Right, there were multiple as well.
We can clarify that a little bit in
Yes,
this. line
yes,
item?
yeah, clarify.
Clarify it.
Okay.
And does it come back for approval next meeting or you just go? Okay, all right. Procedure.
Okay, now I.
I skipped to
remember
an
the
item.
Discussion. I thought it was a TV report, so. I
Yes.
apologize for that.
Okay.
If I could just go back to line 43 in regard to the misstatement on the PPAC protocols, it was just documents, not protocols, or what needs to be adjusted is what I'm asking. I'm sorry.
Actually, I talked about the GSCDD protocols,
Okay,
but I think maybe whoever was taking the notes heard me talk about PPAC requested the information.
Right.
So I think it's alphabet soup.
okay.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted that corrected, and I'll talk a little bit more about status of that in the appropriate agenda item.
Perfect.
I have comment also on the motion that's lines 104 through 108. It states that we would be in favor of outsourcing annual service to exclusive power washing at 426. It doesn't state also the later consideration of possible cost increase due to scheduling related if necessary. But otherwise, the maybe on a previously proposed price. We did talk about the fact that they may raise the price because of the delay. I don't know if that needs to be in the motion. I don't know.
Okay, it's in the write-up. 102 to 103.
Oh, okay, so the motion doesn't need it then? Okay.
No, I
know if it
don't,
needs it, but it's already there.
Discussion agreed to delay until October,
but
but the vendor will accept and hold the pricing until then.
It's 71, looking at striking on Florida. Because Public Works team addressed the issue and state then just was completed. I wrote, will be completed after 2 black lines are done at the end of the FPL project. There's 2 lines that remain that, Jason had identified with us, and I think you said that that's gonna come later. So just to say it's all completed, I thought could be misleading.
so that's line 71. I will add that because BP had mentioned that there's 2 blacked out, I would say, squares. And that was too big for the Public Works team to handle, but that would be done as part of the restriping. So I will correct that.
All right, I've got an item I need to bring up. Holiday safety message, we put out, a couple of residents took issue with the term of designated bike lanes. And I think, golf carts must stay out of the golf lane, I mean, the designated bike lanes. So true, you don't have designated bike lanes. But there's been, several comments and back and forth and documents and clarification. So we had a meeting with, Patricia and I had a meeting with Gateway GSCDD. And, with all of that, bicycles and so forth, complex issue. Their message to us is, as a follow-up to the article, golf carts to be driven on street lanes by licensed drivers or those with permits. The December 3rd, 2025 bulletin be the safety message. The district is reviewing the designated bike lanes and will share more information as it becomes available. Also stated they want any more inquiries on this matter be directed to GSCDD. They're reviewing it with their staff, leadership, and attorney. I guess there's a complex history of bike lanes, no bike lanes.
Yes.
Was there ever? Yeah, so I'm hoping to get, I hope we can get some answers that are final. Now, I know it's moot once we have the striping done. But the question is, how do we message now? That's, we're waiting. for the-
So the follow-up, there have been a few, I wouldn't say we got barraged with comments. There were a few really detailed and wonderfully comprehensive emails back to us about these are not really designated bikes. So we went and reviewed it. I know that permits are in,
Permit is active, so I mean, that's good for the restriping. Just has, the Prado Pistoia roundabout that we approved last month, that striping to be incorporated into that permit. They'll just have to amend the permit.
right. So there, it was noted that there is documentation from the original community here that states, that bike lanes are to be installed. So we're going back to look at that documentation. See if we are going to be in compliance with that. So that's the step we're at. The city has, the permit has been approved, but in bike lanes. Should we wish,
Okay, more to follow.
more to follow.
Okay,
I was reviewing a lot of that stuff too, and I've always heard different stories of why the bike emblems were put in and then moved and all that. And buried in some of the documentation was, there was never a permit to actually paint the bike thing, so the city said you weren't permitted to do them. So right now it's just a shoulder.
bike lane design, 4 foot. But that'll all be reviewed by Gateway and issue our guidance, I hope completely in all golf carts, bicycles, pedestrians. Okay.
Public comments?
Oh,
Oh, good morning. My name is Joe Banowitz. I live in Bellagio.
Bellagio, okay.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. B as in boy, I-E, N as in November, I-E, W as in whiskey, I-C as in Charlie's.
oh, okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes with the clarifications noted? All in favor? Yeah, sorry. Thanks for that. All opposed? Motion is granted. Yep. Okay, next issue. Oh, financial reports. I included both last month or through the end of September, which is the end of the fiscal year, and then the first month of ours. I just wanted to clarify. On last year, they had two different numbers of those numbers reserves. Now, I understand that October 2025, the last of the fiscal year, those cannot be carried over until they're completed, audited.
Okay, hang on. Let me clarify something. This is Laura. The reserves that you had at the end of September, because that was a new account that was set up. When it was set up in the accounting system, it was set up improperly as an income and expense account and not a balance sheet account. And so it was inappropriately closed out at the end of our fiscal year, which was the end of October. That has since been corrected. And you do have that $98,457 still in your reserve. So that stays there. It's like a savings account. You're not going to see it in your November financials. It'll
Right.
show in the December financials. I corrected the online version this morning. But when I was reviewing the stuff for November, I noticed it was zero. And I worked with our accountants to figure out why it disappeared. And that was what we found. So that has been corrected. It's been backdated. So your
Okay.
when the December financials come out, it'll show in the financials, but my summary for November in your folder on the SharePoint drive has been updated to show that $98,457. So you still have that. It was a system error. So you still have the money. Just letting you know.
The second question on that, it said remaining balance of 71,149 was, just so I'm sure, because I know it's gonna be a tough budget year already.
Yeah, that is from the unaudited financials from the end of September. So generally, there's no substantial changes to that. But once the auditors go through the financials, they will double check those numbers. And I mean, if there's adjustments, they're normally pretty small. So I would expect that you would have most of that available to you to use for this year. And what'll happen is that'll get added to that reserve balance, that 98,000 reserve balance. So I'm figuring you should have most of that available to you for this year. So you'll have about like 160,000 plus in your reserves that would be available to tap into to do projects for this year.
Yeah, because, the bids are not in yet, of course, for the road resurfacing.
Right. And you have allocated some of those reserves already to some stuff for this year, but I'm just saying, you should have like another, I'm guessing it'd be like 165,000 probably that'll be available for you to use to do some of your projects.
Laura, this is Ed. That shows.
You guys are really hard to hear. I'm sorry. I can hear, I don't know if the microphone's not in the middle of the table. I can hear like half of you and the other half I can barely hear.
Yeah, the mic, everyone needs to speak just a little bit louder.
Yeah, please use your outside voice, especially if you're not sitting next to the mic. Like I can hear Jay, I can hear Paul, I heard Patricia. So the people that are sitting there are good. Anybody who's like past them, it's very muffled and I can't understand you. And I'm half deaf, so please speak up.
This is Ed. That shows an encumbrance of 108,000 on the streetlight project. That didn't get paid in 25 though, correct?
The 108,000 will get paid in 26, some of that, because we haven't actually paid the contractor doing the work. We paid for some of the other, but that'll get pulled forward.
Right, so your 71 is actually 71 plus 108.
Sure, not exactly, but because those funds are already allocated, so the 71 is still 71.
But then we have to make an adjustment to the 26 for the 108 to the 26.
Correct.
Okay, one more thing. When we get the cost estimate for restriping, and correct me if I'm wrong, Laura, since that wasn't in the budget, we need to ask PPAC at that time for these funds because they were not budgeted.
Well, you'll have to make a decision.
Identify.
Yeah, once that quote comes in, you'll have to see how much it is, and then you need to decide if it's something that you want to do yet this fiscal year, or if you want to wait and put it in your budget for fiscal 27. So that's your first decision. If you decide that you want to do it in fiscal 26, you will need to go to PPAC because this is not a budgeted expense, and you are going to need to tap into reserves to fund that project.
All right, I appreciate it.
And that should not be an issue because you have carry forward funds that you can carry forward.
All right.
And if I could just clarify, Chairman, so there's a restriping of the entire community and also implementing the bike lane plan. So it's two items on that item. A particular budget we'll have to establish.
No, it's all the same project, Paul. That's
it's all the same
the Prado
project.
and the bike lanes is all the striping. They were putting everything all in one, was my understanding.
It's
The
one
mill and
project.
repave is already accounted for with the striping and associated signs and bike lanes included with that. Any additional striping, including the bike lanes and the Prado roundabout, are a separate project,
Right.
which is not budgeted for.
Exactly.
Any other? Okay.
And I think, if I remember correctly, and we talked about this at the meeting that we had with Jay, a year ago, it was about $100,000 to do the restriping and put the bike lanes in. So keep in mind that was a year ago. And now we're adding in the striping at the Prado roundabout as well. So I would expect that to be considerably higher. But we'll have to wait and see that once the permit stuff gets approved, then the engineer will give an estimated, what they think the estimated cost of the project will be. And then depending on what that is, we're gonna have to put it out to bid or not, depending on the cost. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Main point was, we really gotta watch your budget numbers, watch.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of unbudgeted expenses that you already have in this year's, like all those signs, not in your budget. Those speed signs, that was $30,000 that you guys allocated that was not in your budget for this year. And that was before the end of October. We were not even a month into the budget.
Thanks, Laura. for
Mhm.
The clarifications. Any more questions? Okay, let's move to next item. All right. Paul, you want to run me through these real quick? Any substantial changes from last?
Right, so we've, I've updated the quick hits and added some little more information and details for subcommittee members. We can start with the streetlights, FPL streetlight, project. They are working pretty steadily. They've made their way all the way to Sevilla. They're, as of today, they're gonna stop all construction activities till the first of the year. Given the fact that the holidays are on a Wednesday, Thursday for Christmas Eve, Christmas, and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Too much risk to be working just on a Monday, Tuesday, both of those weeks. So they will be stopping all work as of today.
Any estimated time of being completed?
You know what? I'll have to get an updated project schedule from the vendor.
Yeah. Just want to keep us on track because of the coordination of the big projects and we'll be able to get them done this budget year.
Right, and with right, with the work that the boring company has done already, we'll see a lot of light poles go up the beginning of next year. So you'll see a lot of new light poles being installed.
Okay.
Given the fact that the boring company has made a lot of progress.
What about all of the painting and markings on the sidewalks and the street on the table? What happened to that? Are we stuck with that?
No. That was asked, same question was asked in the landscape subcommittee. We will take care of that. We will remove all the locate paint markings. Actually, to be honest with you, some of them already faded. The one's biggest, that's one of the complaints I received from the boring company is that those, whatever paint they're using goes out pretty quick. So they're very faint now on some of those locate markings.
So there's going to be traffic lights going in at the intersections. Is that, am I understanding this correctly?
No, this is strictly street lights.
Oh, street lights.
Street lights, I'm sorry, yes,
I heard
street lights.
street lights and I was thinking about traffic.
No, street lights.
Dang, sorry.
What did you mean that lights will be brighter beginning of next year? What does that?
Oh, no, the light poles, I'm sorry.
The
We'll
light
have a
poles.
lot more light poles being installed. The new ones will be installed beginning next year.
And you'll be directional, so they're not gonna be shooting out like that from where it's straight down. So
That's correct.
The new ones.
Yes. They are taller in height, so you'll have a noticeable difference on the appearance.
No more questions for the next? Oh, traffic studies?
Traffic studies.
Yeah, Rich, anything new on that for this month?
I have a. Of the friends on the street. At, Gordon. They're going down in high speeds. Until we get October. Third punch orders will be here today. I mentioned that last week, or last month. And, then it spiked again in November. Up the speed. It spiked in October. Then the numbers started going down at the high speeds in November. And, the summer had to do the cleanup bottom line is, I would give an example of one of the locations. I'm gonna have one of these reports. January.
Okay.
So that we all have to vote for somebody. But this still kind of gives you an idea what I'm looking at. And, what I want to share. I'm still not happy with, these high speeds. Because, they're hot, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but, I was doing
Some.
something like probably like my pocket, but it's really, we have
Enforcement.
we have the cops here, you know, we just 5, 6 times a month. So I'm just making. Yes,
Is
ma'am.
there any way that these speeds are identified? Does the system doesn't identify? them?
Well, actually. I know.
It's. So I'm gonna blow up the.
Now, well, the plates can't be seen because we don't have ISIS. So it has to be a coordination project with the front gate. To, back a few of the back end of the vehicle when they enter. So that may be my next phase of coordination. But
I've got a tough issue. It is a tough issue. I keep getting favorable comments though about, the flashing. Indicating speed. Some people sometimes just don't realize they're going.
Yeah. Some of the 40s I like, but it's the 60s and 50s that are really a stretch.
Is there any way to identify which are residents and which are non-residents of that group? I mean, are the people,
Well-
you know, providers or?
Lots of pictures, but, here, for example, not one, but two cars are blown through the speed monitor right there at Ibis 4, which is the Prado airport. And, that's pretty bad, they're going 45, 50 miles an hour. Approaching that fight at the pedestrian crossing. So this morning, actually, I spoke with, my contact down there, sending them the stats and re-emphasize, which is obviously here, they started speeding the stuff on Friday. So these kind of, share this information with the folks who have signed up, staff who have signed up, and that we, monitoring some of these other locations that they haven't done. I think that's all I have on that particular inspection.
Did you have a question?
I have one theory with the one too many, but honestly, I think we're doing everything we possibly can. I mean, we can take photographs, mean something, we can report it. It's nice to know. But we have the police coming in here, you know, at some point, you just have to say, hey, personal responsibility, I think this committee has done everything they can. I mean, we really
Yeah,
can't.
people keep up with the communication to the community.
Paul,
Yeah.
Because they Paul, we're not alone in having a problem, like some other communities have it, have they had any better success doing something a little different or?
This is the only community that we know that has the actual speed monitors. But I would imagine it would be an issue in all communities.
Have been looking at a lot of other neighborhoods. And I feel unique in that are the public. Most of the neighborhoods are private ways. And some of the neighborhood associations actually do have a basic assessment, penalties, for traffic violations. That the security patrol will identify. So they use, but this these being DVD on, yeah, better rely on the police department.
So I found a comment that the library are working really well. The first set of batteries I have spare from the second set that's July. It should take me 24 hours just for 2 hours to get a collective charge, not liking now that, when I see that the, percentage of charge going down, and it's 30%, 30%, when I take the spares out, they immediately run the charge. But my bottom line is that 4.5 minutes of time was up to change. So I get the second set, there's only 4 monitors that need to be changed, because the other 2 are solar, and they're looking good.
There's one that was not active this morning when I came in. My insights, I don't know what it was, but it was black. It wasn't really, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Are you doing the thing where you have sometimes when it's been, you know, because sometimes they're still monitoring and it's kind of showing up again. Fine. See if you can, it's still very moving now.
Well, I'm not to make the impression, I called them because I know that on occasion, on the inside lane of southbound, coming in the development, will pick up the right lane. And, so, got my phone both with the coast, I need to get to go across there. It's likely done it, you know what he said, it's as much, I mean, it's little as we get up the nickel. In the location, that would extra a little bit of edge of that thing coming in, so I'll be working on that. But I did contact the company and I know that, I said that for someone to watch. If you can get anybody in there.
Yeah, and while you were talking, the patrols, you know. Update on the patrols.
Yeah, we're only before the beginning of this month, the holiday, the right thing, but we're gonna see all the rest of the 6. So we'll put that in the, month and after that, and thanks beyond the year.
Yeah.
That's going well. I mean, my late, last month, they had increased running for citations. We had no citations 7 months, and we had all year.
Okay.
That started out October 23rd.
The other questions I have, is when I was coming in the other day, I noticed that for Cypress and, Pelican, a three-way stop.
That's been out for,
Yeah, there was some guys taking the three-way stop sign. If you comment, it was a three-way stop, they were walking off with it, and fan and everything, I just.
sorry, thank you so much. Sonny.
Yes, so we're in the process of replacing signs, so.
What about the question brought up about, for the wildlife?
I have not contacted anybody about that because up to the point in time, we've been able to fill all 6 of our chips. But yeah,
They can-
you give her a call.
If I understand it, they can issue tickets to,
They have fun on the
then some complaints about people in ponds, if not.
They have all the jurisdictions of the state. State, so if they're out there checking a pond and they see something going on, they,
Keep that thought, next few months.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or everybody do something.
All right, sidewalk drainage, Mr. Morbido is not here.
He's not here today, but I could just give an update to the subcommittee. So we did roll the sod in that particular area. We're just gonna leave this item until the, rainy season, or once we get confirmation from the neighbors or those property owners that this issue has been resolved.
Slipped. Slipped and fall with the morning and bruises, laceration, ribs, improvement. I stepped on the curb. I stepped on the product. Coming in 9 o'clock. But at 9 o'clock, I come in at 6 o'clock, really, product and get me at 12 and 9. And I stepped on the corner that strippers had been on, and my toe is slippery. And I told them they could from here, I was going to mention it to them, see if they could help me into it. But yeah, it's walking my dog.
You did. Look pretty and had a little.
Well, was the free, but, yeah, it has a little that Dr. Joan on it, from Florida sits on it. So,
Location.
So this is obviously an issue with the irrigation system, maybe overspraying onto the road because it hasn't rained in a while. Is that just sitting area? Yeah. So maybe it's just a matter of.
All right.
I'm sorry.
No. Next issue, pressure washing. We've talked about that a little bit.
It's, if I could just add something regarding the pressure washing. So I did notify the vendor exclusive pressure washing that they were chosen as the vendor for pressure washing. But I did tell them that it would not take place until the fall or maybe October of next year. I did ask about the pricing and they did come back to say that they would have to reevaluate the conditions of the the community, but that there's a potential of 5 to 10% increase based on the pricing. So it may be something we have to revisit.
Yes.
in
Point
fall.
going forward, we need to take that into consideration when we're going to plan on spending money on a project, getting bids, we need to be able to take action then and not say, well, no, we're gonna take it in November or October. I think we just need to be mindful about that on issues in the future.
The next item, if there's no further questions on that, the arch bridge repairs and painting of the arch bridge. So I did reach out to 4 vendors. I did get one reply. I am expecting a quote, hoping this week, but with the holidays, it may be pushed further back. So this will be something that I'll bring back next month to try to get an approval. Any questions on that? The Pelican Preserve mill and resurface, that Tetra Tech has been given the task authorization to work on that. They're working on the specs. We will be doing a walkthrough of this section of Pelican Preserve Boulevard just to see if there's any issues to be addressed. But this will not go out to bid, or we're hoping that the timeline will be sometime in April. So there's some work on Tetra Tech side to get
I
the.
want this put on there so we can keep visibility and pressure on to meet the deadlines.
Absolutely,
as soon as
yes.
possible.
Yes.
It says 120 days from notice to
If
proceed.
you do their stuff, get it out for bid and.
We have a weekly meeting and we do address that. So it's in process. I mean, it's not been something that hasn't been addressed already.
What was the date of the notice to proceed?
October, it was approved on October 2nd. So the notice to proceed would follow soon after that.
So February, March,
Yes,
120 days.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, well. Do you have a question? Okay,
The next item is a guardhouse awning. That was something that was approved last month. Accent awning was the vendor that was chosen. There were some difficulties because they required a deposit, and being that we're quasi-governmental, we do not pay for deposit. So they ended up backing out. So one of the agenda items is trying to seek approval for Scotty's canvas. So that's be discussed further through the meeting. The next item is the Prado Pistoria roundabout redesign. Florida Transportation Engineers, they're working on that. We're hoping to get some deliverables very soon. So that will be brought back hopefully next month's meeting.
okay. Yeah, that project incorporated into the striping project.
Yes, so that's contingent. That's we have to clear this hurdle before we start moving into the greater, bigger project, which is the road markings and also the bicycle lane. And so it'd be all encompassed into one project, but we need this piece of the puzzle to be able to proceed with the rest of it. Then just the last thing is the street sign replacement. So the public works maintenance teams, they were about 25% complete at the time of this agenda item. I think we're a little north of 30 by now. So they're making good progress in replacing street signs. So those are all my updates.
All right. Let's see, next. Item for discussion.
Yeah, agenda item 8A is to the warranty support with all traffic solutions for the speed monitoring devices. And there's a 12-month term for the warranty. We're seeking approval to renew and approve $2,000 costs.
And plus that they've been charging us forever.
Yes, they kind of maintain the price.
Well, this is gonna each year.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
This is Jennifer. I make a motion to approve this.
You have a second?
Crawford, Chapman.
All in favor? Nay? Motion is approved. Okay. Missed billing by Florida Transportation Engineers.
Yes, so we were recently advised by Florida Transportation Engineers that there were some billings that were never submitted for payment. In regards to the restriping and the bicycle lane project, I believe it totals somewhere in the range of $28,340. And correct me if I'm wrong, Laura.
$27,600.
It's in the agenda item, the total.
Okay.
27,690.
Okay, 27,690. I do apologize. So that's outstanding. So this is something for the subcommittee to consider, deny, approve or deny,
Well,
or
the one of them is almost 2 years old. I mean, are they legitimate? They're certainly not timely. Everybody's thoughts on it? The recommendation is, staff recommendation is not approved. Prior fiscal years, not timely. But have they've attempted to prove those bills going back that far?
No, I questioned them about those and all they said is, well, the work was done and our project manager left. I'm like, okay, but that's not my fault. That's 2 years ago.
Oh.
We're way past all of this information. So I pretty much told them to pound sand, but I wanted to run it by you guys first just to make sure that, I mean, it's your budget. It's your funds. If you want to go ahead and pay them, I'm leaving it up to you. My recommendation is not to pay them. I mean, you can't come back to somebody 3 years after the fact and say, hey, oh, by the way, you owe me. I forgot to bill you. You know, I'm like,
Okay, Jim,
I tend to agree that we shouldn't pay them, but I do have a question, and that is, what are the contractual obligations? Because I only saw the invoices as backup documentation. So I don't know in the Ts and Cs of whatever the contract was that we signed with them, what our obligations might be.
I would have to look to see if there's a cutoff. I know they can't invoice us until the work is done. That's our standard terms that we have out there. I mean, these POs are long gone, long closed, especially, you know, FY23, FY24. I mean, you're talking FY23 was closed September of 23. FY24 was closed in September of 24. And then the FY25 stuff just closed a few months ago. So they didn't have any way to prove that the work was actually done, which was some of the other reason why I wanted this brought to you. I just have an invoice saying we did this and oops, we forgot to bill you. Send us some money.
do they have any other bills for that time period?
Not that I'm aware. Well, I mean, there was things, they did do work for us on those particular projects. Whether or not this additional work that was not invoiced was done, I don't know. I know that those projects are legit, but I don't know if they only did work up to the amount that they previously invoiced us for, or if they actually completed the projects and, just to me, it looks like, oh, we have these projects that are hanging open and we need some money. So let's just invoice them for this extra stuff that's left hanging open on these projects.
All right, Stacy?
See, this is Cece, a question. Did we as a group, I'm not sure about where it was when I was on the committee, I don't know, but are these projects we approved and did we approve these funds?
Yes, yes, these are legitimate projects that
No.
were as FTE was asked to perform. I said, my issue is with their project manager leaving. I know that there was some things that we asked them to do that they did not finish the projects. So that's where I'm struggling. Just because we had something with them to do a project for $10,000, if they only did $7,000 worth of the work, and now they're like, oh, there's 3,000 left open on this particular bid, this project, we're going to just bill you for the 3,000. Did you actually finish it? Did you actually do all of the work to make up the 3,000? That's the part that I'm struggling with. We paid them for everything that they did on these projects that was approved up to the time that the last invoices for these particular projects were received. And with everybody, I mean, I can barely remember what I had for lunch on Monday, much less what happened in July of 2023 or 2022, so I know that these are legitimate things that we did have them do for us. Whether or not all of the work was done and we owe all of the funds to close the projects out, that's the part I'm struggling with.
Okay, my only question is, Cece, did we originally encumber those funds was there work
Part of the bid.
not, originally, when we approved the project?
There should have been a PO, purchase order for this project. And then there were payments against that purchase order. I don't recall that anything was significantly under budget, but that would be the thing to go back and look at is what was the original purchase order for this project and how much was paid against that purchase order. And if it's more than that, that's there.
Okay,
So I can answer that. These would have all had purchase orders and we would have paid whatever they had invoiced us against those purchase orders. And these invoices that they're sending us now is the balance between what was paid and what was on the PO, but those POs are closed. It's a habit, you clean them up at the end of the year. The invoices we consider those jobs done. The purchase orders are closed. It's been plenty of time. So that those funds that would have been encumbered, that would have rolled into reserves. So you have the money because we had encumbered the funds at one point. And that was actually one of the responses they came back to me with as well. You allocated the money for it. It's already in your reserves. You have the money set aside. So just pay us. I'm like, well, hang on. It doesn't work like that.
thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, something you said, Laura, sparked the thought, and that is, did they sign off that the project is complete?
I would have to go back and look at what the last invoices that we got for these I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it.
Okay.
Honestly. So, I mean, if you guys were going to say, no, we're not paying it, great. If you want me to dig into it a little more, I'm happy to do that. But I did not want to expend a lot of energy on this because my recommendation is like, sorry, it's been 2-3 years. I'm sorry you lost your project manager, not our fault. Prove you did the work.
This is Lynn. I have a question also is that you go back and look at the original contract, there's something in the contract about how the billing cycle should work. And usually a reasonable time or so many days after the work's been done, there should be a cutoff date. If they didn't make that, they have a problem. You can use that as an argument that we don't have to pay the bill. They didn't submit a timely action bill.
Sure.
Second, if we don't approve this, I assume that they're not going to write off the $27,000. We'll probably issue some type of legal action to recover the funds. So I think it would be advisable county council should be involved in negotiation in some way to get this resolved.
I'll do
Yeah.
some digging to see what was originally sent to them as far as when they're supposed to submit. And if they didn't submit in a timely manner, they have nothing to stand on. Not our fault. Basically, you're warned up front. If you don't submit it within a certain amount of time, thank you for the donation. So I'll see what I can find and I just said I didn't want to expend a lot of time digging into things if you guys are going to be like, no, we're not going to pay it.
Well, should we table it until next month or?
She's get more information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any your motion on that?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Glenn, I'll make a motion to table this until next month.
When for next?
And I think we should be a little more specific on the information that we're requesting.
Well, I would make the table the discussion and decision whether to approve or not approve the billing submitted by the Board of Transportation.
We have a second?
Oh.
Go ahead, Linda.
No, I was going to say if you guys want to just table it, I'll just move this agenda item forward to your January meeting and I'll just give you an update on it.
That would be great.
And Laura, we should verify the total because I'm still coming up with $28,340. So
Okay.
A little more
yeah,
verification.
let's verify everything and then the contract.
I will.
Okay,
As to the motion for table, do we have a second?
we don't need a motion. We don't need a motion.
No,
to table.
I'll just copy it to next month.
Yeah, we'll just roll it
I'm
over.
doing it
to-
right now.
Okay. Next. Placement of the guardhouse awning. We had talked about that in the, it's
So yes, Scotty's Canvas provided a quote of $2,825.
which is under the 3,000.
Right, and it's $65 more than Accent awnings quote, so we're just looking for approval to move forward with this.
Jennifer, I'll second.
And CC the name.
Okay.
Point of discussion, if we're trying to save money, I took a look at the armor. Really not that big.
I agree.
If we're planning future enhancements to the guardhouse, we want to save a few bucks. I don't think we should spend this now.
And that consideration as well, so we, what last.
And the color. I mean, I went with that, you know, kind of a red shirt, thought it would go with the blue. If they go with the gray. Go with the purple. One thought on, we had already approved it last month for the landscape committee. Pros and cons.
I agree, and even though I made the motion, because we already proved it, but I certainly agree with.
We have a motion on the floor.
Yes, we have a motion and a second. So we just need a vote.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed?
Okay,
I'm voting in favor.
Three, four, again. Sorry. All right, let's just
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
go for a vote again. The motion is to approve.
Approve, yes.
Replace the. That's the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Two. Against? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Motion is not approved. Okay. This week's communication then with the landscape committee. Is that correct?
Well, the person who was leading it was Terry. I can get you Terry. I'll get your email or email.
Sherry's no longer with the landscape subcommittee.
Oh, she's not?
No, she is not. She resigned.
Oh, okay, never mind. But I just found it. That's okay. She's no longer there. But yeah, I guess just send it to the chair.
I could bring that up in next month landscaping subcommittee meeting.
Okay,
Yes, I'll put that on the update.
all right, I appreciate that.
Right, no problem.
Got me off on that. Who's the chair of this meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Emergency access road guidelines discussion.
Okay, let me give you a little bit of status on this. This was as a result of the discussion we had in our last meeting. And when I did my turnover for the chair stuff, I told Jay, and I sent it all through Georgia, so it was all nice and legal, that I would volunteer to do this write-up since it's something that I had been working on. The draft is complete. Thanks to Laura for getting me some backup documentation because I really wanted to see what the various governmental agencies had actually put down in writing, because we've been talking about it. And I wanted to see it in writing if I was going to write this up. So she got me all the information. So thank you, Laura. It's a one pager because I'd like to keep things as short and succinct as possible. Basically, I emphasized that the GSCDD owns and is responsible for this gate. And the main use is for emergency personnel. And it's also can be used for maintenance of district assets. And then I go into what, the procedures that we talked about last month in terms of emergencies such as hurricanes and the procedures that everybody has agreed to. And then the procedures that also people had agreed to for the unexpected emergencies. Again, emphasizing throughout all of this that it's a GSCDD responsibility for decisions, et cetera. I sent it back to Laura and Chelsea because they had some comments, good comments. I've sent them in the updates. So hopefully by next month, and they're getting these things turned around. Oh, no big hurry at the end of the year. You guys have lots and lots to do. They're turning it around really fast. So I'm sure we'll have the draft ready for review this session next month. And then it has to go to PPAC and then on to board approval.
Okay.
So that's it.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for taking the lead on it. All right. Member see quick fix report. Wow.
Yes, there was only one item and it really pertained to utilities, not really public works. So, but it's, the issue's been resolved. There's no follow-up on this item.
They're doing an awesome job going through those deep fixes because when we first started getting these, and no, bad mouthing of previous administrations or anything, they were doing the best they could. They had a lot of other stuff going on too, but they're getting turned around pretty quickly.
Yes, Mark Rothenberger and the maintenance team in Public Works are really proactive, and also our landscape and stormwater team as well. So they are getting some work done.
Okay. So, comments for the next.
The next item, I just kind of want to give some updates regarding the guardhouse arm operators. The issues with residents striking or hitting the arms. Weiser has been very proactive in doing incident reports. So we are getting the information from the other resident that is striking the arms. Maybe they're getting a little impatient, or the most common issue is tailgating. They're not allowing the arm to cycle through, and they get really impatient, and they think that if you tailgate, the arm will go back up, and it's not. It's going to go back down. So I think there was 3 incidents, I think a couple weeks ago or so. So the vendor is working on some of those issues. I've not received any hard costs for these repairs, but it's just something, I guess I'm seeking some direction and guidance as far as, do we bill back the residents? Is there a limit? And how should I proceed?
But yes, there we go.
Little-
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the process that I understand is right. We're going to bill the resident or the repair. And they have to worry about their insurance, they have to worry about all those stuff. Good, that's the precedent.
Yeah, I think that should be upheld.
Good.
Okay, very good. So any invoices that I receive from New IQ, we will submit a bill to the resident that causes those damages. And I will do that as well.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Okay, thank you. Any further comments, questions? I'm sorry. Yeah, we can talk about it now.
For, turning right and then, waiting 1 year for those. And that's when we recommend that we replace the phone. Those do. And, I'm reading the post orders. They, replace them and see the order, one of the exception of the.
That is correct.
So, I don't recall no cost for replacing those lines. But they're really fine.
It's interesting because we just provided Wiser with the replacement, so I'll follow up to make sure that they, right, I believe so.
Pretty good. The four flag in the council, but that's what I can put that in really.
Now, the Pelican, we do not,
Right, I understand.
Right.
But
That takes care of the American and the state flag, I think I'm still. And the community associations are the power thing. Ones, that's how I understand.
My motion, recommendation to consider. Posting pricing when I think it's or when.
You have some information on that, pictures, all together, put in
Okay.
agenda item.
Okay.
We can always delineate.
Basically, I don't have access to all the notes on this, but this has been talked about. We have some history on owners who have contributed, like purchase,
Yeah, that was something.
the POW and the, Pelican flag and things like that. So I think you had asked, they, I became aware that maybe we just didn't like that. I would be happy to compile what I think has been mentioned at workshop meetings by the PTAs and CA board. It's on people's agenda. And I didn't want us, I'd be cautious about working independently on this when there are other people who may already have interest in working for a better resolution. Okay? I will put something together, but it ain't gonna be before Christmas.
No, it's gonna be much before Christmas.
Okay. There are a lot of veterans,
Yeah.
there's not a lot to say about that. So I appreciate it.
Okay.
And I'll take pictures.
Right. And I'll follow up as well, because like I said, we had provided the replacement flags. I'm just want to make sure that they were actually replaced and installed. Okay. The next item is just a quick little update on the FPNL streetlight project. They will stop working as of today. They will not work for the next couple of weeks. They may come back maybe after Christmas, but they're not going to be doing any sort of construction activity. If anything, they'll be marking to lay the path of where they're going to go as far as work. But there will be no construction so that it minimizes any impact to any of the residents, so, which is good. But I did want to bring just the attention, to the subcommittee regarding a little issue where, they were moving, the boring machine and there was a stub out, and Ed corrected me, this is a 16-inch irrigation line that is located, right at this corner here. And it was stubbed out and it was in the bushes. And as they were moving the machine, they tapped it and it was broke. So it wasn't during, actual boring operation, it's just moving of the machine. But just kind of want to share that, that it was unknown to, I think, everybody that the 16-inch line was there and stubbed out. And then why they would put a 2-inch stub out that would just stick out of the ground and capped was a big question for us. So just FYI.
Something here about. Hold the other one, please.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that, what's, did we talk about number 3 yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, not yet. Yeah.
Just from on the real early construction drawings and concepts. Where that red dot is where the injection point for the irrigation system is gonna be. So a 16-inch pipe out to the sidewalk, so and then we use down from there going both directions. But then we decided, well, it's gonna come from the pump house, so that little stub from the sidewalk into the processing utility right away was in about 15 feet. It was never supposed to be built. It was crossed off the construction drawings, but it got built. So it just shows that you cannot trust anything, any drawings that there are here in Pelican. You know?
Or anywhere.
That was not even supposed to be constructed.
I have to say, Paul, that our walking group goes up and down Pelican 3 or 4 times a week. Guys working out there have been really great. They're very friendly, they're very professional, and it's just, it's really nice to see people, just taking care of business.
I will pass it along, and they share the same sentiment. They really appreciate how nice and kind all the residents here and allowing them to do their work. So they're very complimentary of the community as well.
And, just on the same thing, I feel badly about the case formation. Seeing these poor guys hand digging.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of better way to, I mean, those guys are like, he's saying, is that the easiest way they can do it?
Well, they have the boring machine, but it just, there's a higher risk. So to be honest with you, they're that hand digging, it's manual labor, but it ensures there's less issues with the community as far as, I mean, there's gas lines, there's water lines, there's sewer lines, and telecommunications. So so far, so good. I mean, they've done very well not to strike anything.
Yeah, if you're hand digging. it's
You're a little
less
more
likely,
careful.
Even if you kind of hit it, it's not gonna be like a boring machine going down that would completely tear it apart.
Right.
You wouldn't even know it.
And, okay, and the last thing I just kind of want to share is the monuments on Colonial and Tree Line. This is something that I've been working with Cindy at the Landscape Subcommittee, and the issue is that those holiday lights and even the monument lights have been tampered by the homeless individuals that have been habitating and kind of residing there. And so we did issue a no trespassing order through the City of Fort Myers Police Department. We did post 2 no trespassing signs per their ordinance so that the police can address some of these issues, but it is an ongoing issue. We're there. I know Cindy's been involved on a daily basis with the holiday light vendor. We're out there constantly to try to plug back the electric because they're pulling the electric and obviously using it, but not plugging it back. And so the lights are on and off, and it's just been a constant issue. So just wanted to share that because if you see it off, that's the reason why.
Leave the holiday lights plugged in and then plug in the house.
We're, well, it's, we talked about maybe securing the electrical equipment, but that's just be out of cost. Yes, so that's the challenge. If it's something simple, we could try to figure out, but it's just gonna be a challenge this holiday season to try to keep all of those lights on, and given the fact that they're constantly, pulling them and tampering with them. As yes, it's definitely an issue. So we've called the police, city for Myers. We've even gotten the Lee County Sheriff Office involved as well. So we are trying to address the issue. It's just want to give everyone some background information. When you look at the monument and you're like, oh, why are the lights not on? That's probably the reason why. Okay, that's all my updates.
Oh, yes. Sport Shooting Club. Read through their informational presentation on January 13th. Feedback on all the meetings will be presenting. We'll be there. I don't know what the other ones are. Okay. Basically, it's to just inform the public what we do, how we do, volunteer, liaison. So, oh, yeah, mistakenly, Jennifer's name was on that. But, sure. As far as it's open to the public. I'll PPACs, I'm putting together the slides, we'll look at them, prove them. More to help me.
Is there any input needed from
Any
the
input?
committee about the projects we finished in last?
Well, that's what we'd like, a list from you, and Jennifer's given me some ideas, and anybody else has
Yeah.
their favorite projects they'd like to get noted, that would be wonderful. And then,
I'm just wondering, when you get them, if there's any more questions about the monitors and who knows,
And
but in the comments.
Well, I submitted 4 items. And my 4 items were the new gates at the entrance. The FPL project, an update on what we're doing with that. The paving project, because I thought that would be of great interest. And then for traffic enforcement, I have monitoring and.
Okay.
We do safety and security issues and some infrastructure roads. Sidewalks. If there's any other comments or topics? Please get them today. Kind of lead into,
Question, what are we doing next year?
Yeah.
To a certain extent, we are continuing.
I think so, a lot of,
It's not like.
continuing, exactly,
looking forward.
Same thing.
The major projects and.
Yeah.
Showing these together.
That leads into another item, actually the holiday safety message, received. Not that many emails. One was quite on about 4 or 5 different issues. Maybe 5 or 8, just little safety suggestions mainly. And so I haven't had time to really coalesce, get it together, put it together for discussion by. Maybe I'll have that around next time. Okay. Next meeting. Oh, Ed.
Paul, I got copy of it, about the pricing. Like, if they don't take pricing. Can you take a look into see if they, really the further time and you set up the proposal tonight?
Unfortunately, those do not.
Talking about them at night.
Yes, we did receive a written.
Right there.
I will, I'll say that's my request. It feels like being in a construction zone. Right off the lanai, that's the view. From the bedroom window, it's the blink, all 24 hours a day.
Okay.
So, my suggestion, not to bring a complaint and say, hey, deal with this, but my suggestion is there some sort of timer or a sensor that could be used that if there's somebody walking or a golf cart approaching, that will turn on and then it will shut as the object passes by, whether it be a person or a golf cart.
I assume those are 12 volts or something, I don't know. I get a quick email and found, waterproof, all the, I know that might be able to be wired in or something. Because primarily the first one, that's the big issue.
Yeah, I believe it's just the first one. I mean, I could take another look, but it looks like it's just the first one. So, I mean, if there's nothing that could be done, if there's like a tree or something that could be put in the median that kind of block that, I don't. Yeah, if there's no way to put a sensor, I would think that a sensor would be a pretty easy fix for it, but.
We could take a look at that.
Can I help you, sir?
Pay your fees.
Oh, in the Broccoli Center. Broccoli
Yeah, it's
Center, yes.
building, yeah, Brockett Center.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, guess look with some options. I've received, some good feedback on the second plan at Azura. From people that at night, that's them, when they try to cross. Because the lights flash and drivers. Some of that intersection of Cypress and Azura. Seem to be more cautious.
You have issue with, that is the one at Cypress Missouri or the next one?
It's the first one on the Cypress from.
Okay.
I believe it's just that one,
Okay.
but I will take another look and I can send an email.
Maybe some other owner in a different location has a similar issue.
Yeah, I was looking at,
We had a Christmas party and with Zora and we were talking about it, but nobody was complaining about it. And even the people that live right there.
I was wondering about that because I was, yeah, 'cause there are houses at Azura that Daryl and I would be facing one of them. So it's interesting, but yeah, sitting right out on the, I was like, what the heck is that? And I looked over and I'm like, it's a street sign. I had to drive down to check it out and came back and I'm like,
Is that during the night?
yeah.
Yes, during the night. During the day, it's not.
It's pretty bright.
Dawn to
Yes.
dusk, possibility, I don't know.
It is. Oh, yeah, yeah. It literally is. I'm from New York, so it reminds me of being in like, one of the boroughs of the city in a construction zone,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Queens, yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate everybody listening and being open to that.
I don't think we need a motion on that, but.
No. That's something I could just look into.
Options.
Yes, look for options.
More nuisance than,
Yeah. And then if I could
we
just,
have $1 million view looking back there and like,
Yes.
now it's, whatever.
it was an unintended consequence because the subcommittee had, wanted to focus on safety in that particular area in that bend.
Sure.
So,
I appreciate that.
and then I just have one other comment I failed to include in the staff updates. So the speed monitors, when they're placed on, or we would like for them to avoid using street signs when you place them because they do block some of the signage as well. So
Are you talking about the one time we were putting there a sign on the hill?
okay,
Above the 30-mile hour,
okay,
not obstructed.
okay. As long as it's not obstructing the sign itself. Yeah. Okay.
That solar panel above, sign itself kind of clever in the fact that was 30-mile-an-hour sign and below it's flashing like 42. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For what? Yeah. Mark.
One time.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Okay, any other comments? Next meeting, next scheduled meeting, January 22nd. Anyone not going to be?
Richard, you have a board workshop on January 22nd at 10 a.m. So you guys would not be the entire meeting if you come to this meeting, just let me be aware of that.
Okay, what's, what time is that?
10 o'clock, 10 in the morning.
Right, well, just imagine that.
Let me double check.
Okay, so I will be,
Anything serious?
anybody want to be at the January 22nd meeting?
Well, if not, let Georgia know.
We have it from 10 a.m. to noon, or it's a plan, that doesn't really repeat. Exactly that, but, and that will be in the next week, though.
January 22nd, 11 a.m.
Yes,
Same time, same place.
thank you. Yeah.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yes,
Right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Jennifer, I will.
Second,
Okay, wait a second.
all in favor? Aye.
Bye.
Yeah. Very good.